Are you searching for iOS courses where you can learn how to develop your iOS apps? Well, Alex here from Rebeloper.com, and I want you to subscribe to this channel because in this video we are going to talk about just that. So let's find out how to learn iOS development in under 6 months. Oh, and you don't need any coding experience at all to get started. So first things first, getting started with iOS development. What do you need to know? Well, first of all, you have to learn how to master Xcode. Now, Xcode is the Mac app you use to create apps. It has a code editor, project organizer, compiler, debugger, and many more important tools to build a great apps. Now, go ahead and click the link down below in the description where you can find a list of all the links that I will show you today, so you can, for example, now go ahead and download Xcode and just go ahead and tweak with it, take a look at it, how it works, and so on. Now, the second thing that you have to know to get started with iOS development is Swift programming. Now, Swift is the powerful programming language that you use to code iOS, macOS, tvOS, and watchOS apps. It's easier to learn than Objective-C. Trust me, I have been working in Objective-C for about 4 to 5 years, and then after Swift came out, I was all the way in for Swift. I never turned back. And of course, it has Swift packs, a ton of features that help you code productively. It's also a lot of fun, as you might have guessed from all of my other tutorials on these channels. Now, what is up next? You have to learn how to build UIs. Now, if you don't already know, UIs are made up of buttons, views, navigation, labels, images, account controls, etc. You can use to build up your UIs via a view controller base. Now, with storyboards, if you just open up Xcode and start a new project, you will see that you can choose either to use storyboards or either to use Swift UI. Now, Swift UI has just been released. It's super awesome, but it's still in its early phases. You might want to consider what you are building and then choose Swift UI or with storyboards. Now, I am currently building a Swift UI only project, and it will be released, so it is going to be in production, but there are a lot of things that are still, a lot of elements that are still missing in Swift UI, but the whole concept is so awesome. I just wanted to build out this project entirely in Swift UI. Okay, what is up next? You need to learn coding logic. Your Swift code governs what happens in your app and when. Now, if this goes, then do that. This is called logic, and it's crucial to any app, as you might have imagined. Now, prior to Swift UI, we kind of used objective-oriented programming. It's kind of imperative programming. Now with Swift UI, we are more going into declarative, rather yet not just declarative, reactive programming, and I really like that with at state, at environment, object, and so on. Go ahead and check out all of my other tutorials on Swift UI and learn how I'm so excited about Swift UI. Next up comes app architecture. Now think of MVVM, MVC, Viper, and so on. Now, writing clear and extensible and maintainable code is as important as writing code that works. So it's very important that when you come back to the code, let's say in 5 months, or other developers take a look at it, then it should be clear what that code does. It's not just it's working okay and it's a lot of spaghetti code. You have to have a clear architecture. Okay. Let's move on. Now that we have finished what you clearly need to start off with, let's take a look at how you are going to build that out. So what I suggest, and what I also did years back ago, is just practice 50 minutes per day. Now, learn iOS development for 50 minutes a day, every single day for 1 year. Now, that will come up as a habit, and you will love to learn iOS development. Now, why 50 minutes? There is something called the Pomodoro technique, and that is just taking up one chunk of time, not that much, 25 minutes or 15 minutes. In this case, let's use 15 minutes, and you are not going to do anything but your task. You are just going to ignore emails, notifications. You're going to turn off your phone. Well, not turn off, turn on do not disturb mode. And you are going to do that only one thing. Now, in the description, I also have a link to an awesome Pomodoro timing app that is free. It is called Mighty. And yeah, just go ahead and use that. Now, once you do that, every single day, you do that in day, come back again tomorrow, the next day, and the next day. Just take a look at how consistent you are, and you will gain a lot of knowledge. Make sure that you do that one day at a time. And if you skip one day, it doesn't matter. It's not the end of the world, but make sure you do not skip 2 days in a row. That will plummet your experience and your knowledge, and your moving forward. Now, where can you learn? Where can you start? And the best place I found to start off is this site called Code with Chris. If you haven't heard about him on YouTube, and then go ahead and check out his YouTube videos. By the way, none of these courses, channels, books, or sites are endorsed by anyone. I'm just giving it to you because I do know that they are great. Okay, now this is called Learn iOS App Development in 28 days, and it is for free. And this is a 28-day challenge. It gives you the exact learning plan to gain the core skills of iOS app development. Now, this is just from Chris's site. It's for absolute beginners, and it will help you get results without wasting time. Okay, I suggest that you do this first, and then move on to another favorite site of mine, and that is Hacking with Swift. And if you just type in Hacking with Swift /100, or just click the link in the resources, then you will be taken to 100 Days of Swift. Now, this is a free collection of videos, tutorials, and so on. It is again aimed for beginners who want to learn to build iOS apps. It's a little bit more than the basics from Code with Chris. So go ahead, and this should be your next step. Again, this is 100 days. If you go and practice that 50-minute chunk each and every day with 100 days of Swift, you'll be way off than anybody else that is trying to learn the code and is struggling with. Now, if you are into Swift UI, then you can move further and take a look at Hacking with Swift's, Paul Hudson's 100 Days of Swift UI. Now, I personally went through it and I really enjoyed it. It's really, really awesome. Does the whole foundations of Swift UI. So yeah, you can have a clear understanding what it basically is. Again, click the link in the description for the resources to find out these links. Okay, now once you have done that, let's just focus on the intermediate topics. Now, this could be networking or something called like Firebase or something like that. But I suggest you take a look at ravenderlich.com, and there are a lot of intermediate topics there, let's say image caching and so on. And just take a look on your spare hour, just try to build out one of those tutorials. And again, this is the largest and most up-to-date collection of development courses on iOS and others too. Okay, let's move forward with other intermediate topics. And if you like to read these short articles, then I would highly recommend Swift by Sandel. He has weekly Swift articles, podcasts, and tips. I really like to start off with the basics. As you can see, there are weekly articles, but there are also basics. And I highly recommend you sign up for his newsletter. Next up is yours, Rebeloper YouTube channel. I have weekly tips and tutorials for building your iOS apps. If you are new here, go ahead and take a look at the videos and maybe subscribe, or if you really like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. It really helps with the YouTube algorithm. Or if you want to just take a look at some new or mid-sized intermediate topics like Firebase, SwiftUI, then just go ahead and take a look at the whole playlist. I try to chunk all of these into playlists. Okay, now if you want to really go pro, and this is just for the future, once you have gained some momentum, go ahead and learn about data structures and algorithms. Make sure that you do those. It will save you a lot of headache on how to build out the architecture of your app and how to manage data. You could use Ray Vanderlich's book on its site. It's on the store. Again, the link is in the resources. Or you could just sign up for codeworks.com and try to get your hands dirty. It's coming with from beginners to experts. So yeah, go ahead and take a look at CodeWorks. If you want to spend some money on it, then I would highly recommend algoexpert.io. Yeah, and they have video documentation of explanation of how all of these things work. And again, Ray Vanderlich's book is also a paid one. I'm not endorsing anything. I don't get any percentage of it. I just know that they are so awesome. I've read Ray Vanderlich's book and I have learned a ton on top of what I already knew. Okay, finally, you are not alone. Again, even if you are just coding by yourself that 15 minutes, 50 minutes, go ahead. If you're stuck, there's always GitHub, there's always Stack Overflow, there's always YouTube or Google. And if you want to ask me or want to reach out with some questions, go ahead and email me at support@rebeloper.com. Make sure that you first of all take a look at Stack Overflow, or maybe if you are trying to find a good library, then check out GitHub, and then just go ahead and ask me anything. Okay, let's move on. And finally, hang in there. Consistency is key. Go ahead and do that every single day, that 50-minute chunk, and be patient. Commit to creating these habits, and commit all of your code to GitHub if you are already building out your project, and build momentum and keep on the pressure. Now, once you have gone through all of these, make sure that in the meantime, just build out your very own app. It's super important that you have your very own app, something that you are passionate about and you are building out throughout while you are learning all of this. Now you know how you can learn iOS development in under 6 months. Now I want you to hit that notification bell, because in my next video I will be talking about iOS developer tools. Now while you wait for that, make sure to check out these videos as well. I talk a lot about SwiftUI, iOS development in general. So as usual, I will see you in the next one.